my dad just pushed and got his car up on the lift so we can get to the brakes. And you said there's the e-brake, right?
Yeah.
So see, he's running Team Z up front. He was messing with his subframes because they're kind of bent on this car, but here's a good view of the rear end for you guys. So Curtis already took care of this. Adjustable upper control arms, got the lowers. You did Team Z everything, right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, he'll have to go get this fluid changed out after 500 miles as well. But that's where we're at, so we'll get started with this e-brake. All right, guys, so here is that little mod that we were talking about to get the Foxbody style e-brake to work with the SN style emergency brake. So you take the little horizontal bracket, attach it there, take your two lines, hook them in, and then run them back to each of the rear tires, and then hook in that little piece right there. So that's what we're about to do now.
They keep on my tire.
All right, guys, so very similar to the SN now. We just have to move this line so it's away from the cable, because I have hit my cable before, get it out and around there. But we were having trouble trying to figure out where these went, but it actually goes up through there, and you can see on this back side that there's an eyelet up top. So it comes through that eyelet into that bracket and then over to the mod for the e-brake. And if you look at LMR's video, they tell you to cut the coil on the e-brake and then tack weld it. But my dad was telling me in '96 there was a recall and Ford made a little piece and you can add that to your e-brake, so you don't have to do the tack weld. So we're about to lower this and then I'll show you that piece he's talking about. All right, guys, so this little piece right here is the one my dad's talking about. So you still end up cutting that one on the back side. I don't know if you guys can see that better that way. You still cut that one up top, but then you add that piece in there, and then that's pretty much it. So, and you of course put that screw in there, but that saves you from having to tack weld it. All right, here's a little update. I know we're jumping around in this video, but not having parts or figuring out you need more parts kind of makes you jump to a different area of the car. So we didn't finish the intake because all these lines you guys see is part of the Pro M EFI system going on there. So it kind of makes sense to leave the upper intake off so we can get the fuel injectors plugged up. And then so we jump back to the brakes, but we can't quite finish off the brakes and get them where they need to be because we are missing the C-clip that goes on the backside. So my dad said he watched a video, and if you guys see, when we pushed this car back, it was dragging, and it looks like the front part of the bracket is actually touching the rotor, and maybe you guys can see it on camera, maybe not, but there's a little marking there. So he bought these pieces off of eBay, right?
Yes. To
be able to space that back and get the Cobra rotor on there. SVE on it. LMR makes the same part as well, but what we're gonna have to do is put some more spacers there to bring this whole bracket out and get it off of that and get it centered up nicely. Yeah. Yep.
A little more. What do you think? Right there on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the whole bottom piece needs to be gone.
So, all right, guys. So, as you can tell on the other side, this. I'll back up a little bit and turn this light off. So, if you guys can tell on the other side, that anti-moan bar or bracket is blocking the brake line from being lined up. So you guys can see this is what I was talking about. So this is the 95 brake line, but it's hitting on that anti-moan bracket right there. So we had to loosen it up. My dad had to grind off the corner there and up top to be able to slide that in there. But that's because he went with this piece here that allows you to move the bracket out so you can run the Cobra bigger rotors. I ordered the SVE one, so mine will be where this black one is, but come out as far as the silver one. But mine will be moved in, so red won't have that problem, but it's only because we have this little spacer right there. But so if you guys go this route, because this is a cheaper bracket, save you guys some money, you just have to remember you're gonna have to kind of grind off the bracket for the rear brake line right there. Got the whole back finished up. You can't even really see the bracket in there with the anti-moan and the brake, but brake line's done. Everything's hooked back up. We even got the little braided line up there in the center. The only thing that kind of sucks about this is, I don't know if LMR, they make a kit that has new lines in it. I don't know if theirs fit a little bit differently to where you can put it back in the factory location with the little bracket right here. But with the factory lines that were on this rear end, that's the best we can get it. So, but everything's tucked up out the way. So I guess now we're going to be moving back to the front of the car, because the only other thing to do down here is to tighten up the e-brake modification. But before we do that, we can also do a transmission mount and drive shaft safety loop, and then everything else can get buttoned up underneath here. But this rear end is gonna have to get drained of its fluid after it gets running in 500 miles. And I guess that's pretty much it. Time to move to the front of the car.